of you. Welcome to Wisdom Channel and ISPAT University Initiative. I am Mr. Sunil, Faculty of ICT at ISPAT University. In this video, I am going to discuss about how artificial intelligence and machine learning are transforming the world. Artificial intelligence and machine learning are the trending and the most discussed topic in the IT industry right now. Whether we realize or accept it, artificial intelligence has become an integral part of our everyday lives. It is everywhere. Our workplace, homes, cars, phones, and computers. Artificial intelligence can influence our choice of TV shows, music, and many more based on the things which we have listened or watched in the past. It provides us the suggestions through the smartphones, social media platforms, and other devices. Even the ads are targeted towards the interest based on our search history, and we are more connected now than we have ever been through with the use of machine learning and artificial intelligence. Even the dating apps can pair you with your perfect mate through the set of questions which was asked during the sign-in process or the sign-up process. Even the smartphones can answer to your questions by whenever you simply ask, "Hey Siri, I need some information about ISPAT University." It provides you all the required information. Even you can set an alarm, you can control your home appliances with the use of these virtual assistants. Even the modern cars are equipped with satellite navigation, which helps us to navigate the roads and to find our destination. Whether you like it or not, the artificial intelligence and machine learning are everywhere. According to the experts, SAS.com, they say the integration of artificial intelligence is not only found in our domestic lives, even the businesses are now implementing this artificial intelligence and machine learning to enhance their customer service, right from customer service till the marketing and the production. So in this video, I'm going to discuss, or I'm going to give more brief on how artificial intelligence and machine learning are transforming the world. Let's start our presentation. So this is the table of content. So I'll be covering three sections in this video. The first being overview of artificial intelligence. Then I'll give overview of machine learning in section 2. And at last we discuss about how AI, that is artificial intelligence, and machine learning are transforming the world. So let us start our section 1, overview of artificial intelligence. So first, let us define artificial intelligence. So if you Google for the definition of artificial intelligence, you will find hundreds of definitions. So the very common one is artificial intelligence is a technique which enables the machines to mimic the human behavior. Artificial intelligence is the theory and development of computer systems able to perform the task normally requiring human intelligence, such as visual perception, speech recognition, decision making, and translation between the languages. So in simpler words, if I want to explain the artificial intelligence, it is the ability for the machine to mimic the human behavior. It is an intelligent entity created by the humans, which is capable of having the human intelligence. It's also capable of performing the task intelligently without being programmed or without being explicitly instructed. So the machine is also capable of thinking and acting rationally and humanly. So this is the definition of the artificial intelligence. So now let us look at some history of artificial intelligence. So the person you are looking in this video is none other than John McCarthy. So he is considered as the father of artificial intelligence. He defines the artificial intelligence as the science and engineering of making the intelligent machines. So now let us see the artificial intelligence timeline, how it has evolved in the current era. So the concept of artificial intelligence was started in the year 1950s itself. So you might be knowing this person called Alan Turing. So he's the one who started the Turing machines, who developed the Turing machines. So now what is this Turing machine? So this is the concept, or this is the concept started by Alan Turing. This is the method for determining whether the machine is intelligent or not. So this was proposed in the 1950s itself. Then in 1960s, as I said, in the year 1956, John McCarthy, he started using this term artificial intelligence. And in the year 1960s, he started an artificial intelligence lab at Stanford. And in 1980s, the digital equipment corporations developed R1, which is also called as XCon, which is the first successful commercial expert system. Then in 2000, a self-driving car named Stanley wins the DARPA Grand Challenge. And again in the same year, the US military began investing in autonomous robots like Boston Dynamics, Big Dog, and iRobot's Packbot. So these two were the autonomous robots, the Big Dog and the Packbot, which the US military began investing in the autonomous robots. Then in the year 2008, Google started the speech recognition system and introduced this feature in its iPhone app. And in the year 2011, Apple released a virtual assistant. It was an AI-powered virtual assistant called Siri through its iPhone operating system. And again in the year 2012, Andrew Ng, who is the founder of Google Brain Deep Learning Project, feeds a neural network using deep learning algorithms. So they feed it 10 million YouTube videos as a training set. In the year 2014, the Google makes the first self-driving car to pass a state driving test. And in the same year, Amazon Alexa was also released. So in the last 5 to 6 years, we have seen the major development in this technology. So in the year 2016, the Google DeepMind's project called AlphaGo defeated the world champion Go player Lee Sedol. So this was completely an artificial intelligence program which defeated the world champion at that particular game. And the very first robot citizen named Sophia was also created in the same year. It was created by Hanson Robotics. In the year 2018, Google releases the natural language processing engine called BERT. And in the last year, the Baidu released its linear fold artificial intelligence algorithm for scientific and medical teams who are working to develop a vaccine for SARS-CoV pandemic or SARS-CoV virus. So this is how the artificial intelligence have evolved over the decades. So now when we talk about artificial intelligence, there are different stages, there are different types of learning in artificial intelligence. Mainly there are three stages for an artificial intelligence. The first being narrow AI. We also call it as artificial narrow intelligence. We can call it as either narrow artificial intelligence or artificial narrow intelligence. So this is the very common one which we can see and which we are using right now in our day-to-day activities. So the narrow intelligence, the artificial narrow intelligence, it's also known as weak AI. It is the stage where artificial intelligence involves the machines which can perform only a narrowly defined set of specific tasks. The best example is Siri or Alexa. So these virtual assistants comes under the narrow AI, and even the self-driving cars, the AlphaGo, and even the humanoid robot Sophia, they all come under this category. And most of the AI based systems which are developed till date comes under the category of weak artificial intelligence or narrow artificial intelligence. The next stage is artificial general intelligence or general AI. So this takes the knowledge from one domain and transfers to the other domain. So now this stage we call it as strong artificial intelligence. Now this is the stage in the evolution of artificial intelligence wherein the machine will possess the ability to think and make the decisions just like humans. So right now there are no existing applications of this particular stage. However, very soon we are able to create machines which are smart as humans. And many scientists considered this strong artificial intelligence or general artificial intelligence as a threat to the human existence, including Stephen Hawking and other renowned persons. And the third stage, we call it as super artificial intelligence or artificial super intelligence. So here the machines has the order of magnitude smarter than humans. So this is the stage where the machine has the capability which can surpass the human beings. So this is currently an hypothetical situation which we can only see in movies and science fiction books. But we need to believe that machines are not very far from reaching this stage, taking into considerations our current place. So these were the different stages of artificial intelligence which a machine can acquire. Now we'll discuss about different types of artificial intelligence. So talking about the types of artificial intelligence, so we mainly have four types: reactive machine artificial intelligence, limited memory, theory of mind, and self-awareness. So we'll discuss about all these four types one by one in detail. So the very first basic type of artificial intelligence is reactive machine AI. So now all this classification is based on the functionality of AI. So reactive machine AI. So this type of artificial intelligence includes the machines which operates solely based on the present data. Understood? So the data is pre-feeded and this data is utilized by the machine in order to make the decisions. So reactive AI machines cannot form the inferences from the data to evaluate their future actions. So they replicate a human's ability to react to different types of stimuli. So in a layman's term, if I want to explain, a reactive machine, they are reactionary to any kind of action which is performed in front of them. Understood? So the best example is the famous IBM chess program, which beated the world champion Garry Kasparov. So this was the first reactive machine AI application where the AI program or AI based application beated the world chess champion Garry Kasparov. So the next type of artificial intelligence, we call it as limited memory. As the name itself says, in the limited memory artificial intelligence, the machine can make informed and improved decisions by studying the previous data from its memory. So such an AI has a short-lived or a temporary memory which can be used to store past experiences and hence evaluate the future actions. The best example are the self-driving cars. So they come under this category of limited memory artificial intelligence. See, these self-driving cars collects the data from different sensors in order to identify the other vehicles which are moving on the road, maybe some obstacle in the road, or even the traffic signal or the civilian who is crossing the road. So all these are detected with the use of sensors. So this is the data which is fed into the system, and the machine with these inputs, with these data in its temporary memory, is capable of making or taking the decisions. So these inputs are used to make better driving decisions, and we call this as limited memory AI. And the third type of artificial intelligence is theory of mind. So this is the more advanced type of artificial intelligence. So this is speculated to play a major role in the psychology. So this type of artificial intelligence will focus on mainly emotional intelligence. For example, consider the robots which uses their common sense in interpreting the data and coming up with the decisions in real time. Then we call it as theory of mind artificial intelligence. A lot of research is being done to develop the machines to build an innate common sense which allows them to not just analyze the data but also to assess it for their greater gain. So as of now, we are still in the process of implementing the theory of mind artificial intelligence. The closest possible robots are just able to interpret either the stairs or other robots coming from opposite directions. So all these comes under this category of theory of mind artificial intelligence. And the last type of artificial intelligence, and it's the more advanced type of artificial intelligence, and we call it as self-aware AI or self-awareness. So this is the final step for any artificial intelligence is to become self-aware. Remember those lifelike bots and androids in movies? So that is what we are discussing here, the self-aware AI. So this is the type of AI which are used for creating such type of technology which we see in movies, the fiction movies, the sci-fi or some science fiction books. So self-awareness AI is able to even interpret the human emotions and the base decisions which are not just logical but are also influenced by the feelings, the human feelings. So this type of artificial intelligence is little far-fetched given the present circumstances. However, in the future, achieving this stage of super intelligent might be possible. So these are the four different types of artificial intelligence based on their functionalities. So now we have discussed what is artificial intelligence, the different stages of artificial intelligence, and the types of artificial intelligence. Now, how this artificial intelligence works, how exactly or what exactly is AI made up of? You see, artificial intelligence is made of these other branches or other subcomponents: natural language processing, machine learning, deep learning, then the neural networks, computer vision, cognitive computing, robotics, and fuzzy logic. So these are the different components which makes the artificial intelligence. If we consider an artificial intelligence as a tree, then these are the different branches of artificial intelligence. So machine learning is the subset of artificial intelligence. So I'll just give an overview of these branches. So if I want to talk about the machine learning, it teaches a machine how to make inferences and decisions based on the previous experiences or the past data. It can identify the pattern and analyzes the past data to infer the meaning of these data to reach the point where it can have a possible conclusion without a human intervention. And when we talk about neural networks, so this works on the similar principles of the human neural cells. So neural networks, they are the series of algorithms which captures the relationship between the underlying variables and processes the data just like our human brain does. And robotics is again another branch of artificial intelligence which mainly focuses on different branches and applications of robots. So AI robots are artificial agents acting in a real world environment to produce results by taking accountable actions. Then the fuzzy logic. The fuzzy logic is a computing approach which is based on the principles of degrees of truth. So the computer uses the logic which is Boolean in nature, but the fuzzy logic uses the degree of truth. It is vastly used in the medical field to solve the complex problems which involves the decision making. They are also used in automatic gearboxes, vehicle environment control, and so on. Then talking about the natural language processing, it is a science of reading, understanding, interpreting a language by a machine. So once a machine understands what the user intends to communicate, it will respond accordingly. So this science of reading, understanding, or interpreting our human language by a machine is achieved through NLP, natural language processing. Understood? So expert system, again, by taking input from several other components, if it is capable of performing a smart decision capability, then we achieve it through this expert system. So these are the different branches of artificial intelligence. So I hope I have given you a clear idea of what exactly is artificial intelligence all about. So that was about section 1, an overview of artificial intelligence. So now in the next section we are going to discuss about machine learning. So machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence. So it is not a different entity or a component. it is a subset of artificial intelligence. So as we discussed earlier, it is an integral branch of artificial intelligence. So what is machine learning? So machine learning makes the machine to have the ability to think from their previous experiences, and it also makes the machine capable of performing the decision making. So what is the definition of machine learning? So there are several definitions available, but in simpler words, if I want to explain the machine learning, it is the subset of artificial intelligence which provides the machines the ability to learn automatically and improve from the experiences without being explicitly programmed. So in this sense, it is the practice of getting machines to solve the problems by gaining the ability to think. You see, this machine learning, there are several steps or several stages. So now we will be discussing, or I'll be explaining the machine learning process. What process is used by the machine learning? So machine learning process, you can see there are several steps. Step 1 being defining the objective. Step 2, data gathering, preparing the data. Next, data exploration, building a model, then evaluating the model, and finally prediction. So this machine learning process involves building a predictive model. The main objective is to build a predictive model with the machine learning algorithms. So now to understand this machine learning process, let's assume that you are given with a problem which needs to be solved by a machine learning. The problem is to predict the occurrence of rain in your local area. So if I want to predict whether the rain will occur or not using the machine learning, what steps we need to follow? So step 1, we need to define the objective of the problem statement. Understood? So at this stage, in our case, in our scenario, the objective is to predict. The main objective is to predict the possibility of rain by studying the weather conditions. Right? So at this stage, it's also important to take mental notes on what kind of data can be used to solve this problem, or what type of approach we need to follow to get into this or to get the required solution. So this is the step 1. We need to define the objective, and we need to decide what kind of data should be used and what type of approach we need to follow. So that is step 1. And step 2 is data gathering. So now at this stage, we need to ask ourselves questions like what kind of data is required to solve the problem? Is the data available, or how can I get the data? So once we identify what data is required, we need to derive the data. That is, we need to start data collection. So either we can collect the data manually or by web scraping. Understood? So if you are a beginner, there is nothing to worry about. There are thousands of data resources available on the web. So we can just download the data set and we can start testing our model. So coming back to the problem or the use case which we are discussing, the data needed for weather forecasting, mainly the main data are like humidity level, temperature, pressure, locality, and whether we live in a hill station or the coastal place, like that. So such kind of data must be collected and it should be stored for analysis. So that is the second step, data gathering or collecting the data. Then the third step in the machine learning process is to prepare the data. What do you mean by preparing the data? See, once you collect the data, there will be several inconsistencies in the data. Like there might be some missing values, there might be some duplicate values, redundant variables. So we need to remove these inconsistencies, and it is very essential, because if you do not remove these inconsistencies, it might lead to a wrongful computation and a wrong prediction. So preparing the data is very, very important. And step 4 is data exploration, or we can also call it as exploratory data analysis. So at this stage, we need to dive in deep into the data and find all the hidden data mysteries. So this is like a brainstorming stage of a machine learning. Understood? So this data exploration involves understanding the patterns and trends in the data. So we need to find some patterns. The machine will understand the pattern and the trends in the data. All the useful insights are drawn and correlations between the variables are understood at this particular step. So in case of the rainfall prediction, we know that there is a strong possibility of rain if the temperature has fallen low. Understood? So such correlation should be understood and mapped at this stage. So this is step 4, data exploration. And step 5, we need to build a model, or building a machine learning model. All the insights or patterns which was derived in the previous step is used to build the model, a machine learning model. So always the data set is split into 2 parts. One is like for training the data, and the other one is for testing the data. So the training data will be used to build and analyze the model. Understood? So the logic of the model is based on the machine learning algorithm which is being implemented. Now in case of the rainfall prediction, so the output will be in the form of either true or false, yes or no. In a rainfall prediction, there can be only 2 possible results. Either it will rain or no rain. So then we need to choose. We need to use a classification algorithm like logistic regression. So that is how you build a model. Then at step 6, you need to evaluate your model, and if possible, you need to optimize it. We call it as model evaluation and optimization. So once we build a model using a training data set, we need to test the model, and it is assessed and tested in this step. So finally, the last step is the predictions. Once the model is evaluated and optimized, so finally it is used to make the predictions. So the final output can be like a categorical variable, like a true or false, or it can be a continuous quantity as well. For example, the stock prediction, the stock market prediction. So this is the entire machine learning process. These are the 7 important steps in the machine learning process. So now we'll discuss about the different ways the machines can learn, that is the types of machine learning. So mainly we have 4 types of machine learning: supervised learning, unsupervised learning, reinforcement learning, and semi-supervised learning. So what do you mean by supervised learning? So this is a technique where we teach, the humans teach or train the machine using the data which is well labeled. So to understand supervised learning, let us consider an example. When we were kids, we all needed guidance to solve mathematical problems, right? So our teachers helped us like what addition is and how it is done. So this is exactly the supervised learning. So this is a type of machine learning which is actually trained by the humans. The machines are trained by the humans. And the label data set is the teacher. In our example, the label data set was the teacher, which will train us to understand the different patterns in the data. So the label data set here is nothing but the training data set. So that is about supervised learning. Then unsupervised learning. So this involves the training by using the unlabeled data and allowing the model to act on that information without guidance. For example, being a smart kid who learns without any guidance. Right? See, the kids who are very smart, without any guidance, they learn several things, which is considered as unsupervised learning. So in this type of machine learning, the model is not fed with the labeled data. So the model has no clue that what exactly is going to happen. So it doesn't have any guidance. So it figures out the patterns and the differences by itself. So how does it identify the patterns and the differences between the patterns? By studying, by getting trained with tons of data. Understood? So this is unsupervised learning. So there is no training provided. So the machine itself will identify the patterns and the differences by studying the data. Now there is this third type of machine learning called reinforcement learning. So reinforcement learning is like learning from the mistakes and the old data. We place an agent in an environment where it learns to behave in this environment by performing certain actions and absorbing the rewards which it gets from those actions. So this type of machine learning is quite different. Imagine that you are dropped off at an isolated island. What will you do? Of course, we get panic, but as the time passes, we learn how to live on the island. We'll explore the environment. We understand the climate conditions and also the type of food which is grown on the island, the dangers of the island, etc. This is exactly how the reinforcement learning works. It involves an agent which is put in an unknown environment where it itself observes and performs different actions which results in rewards. And lastly, we have semi-supervised learning. So this implements the data modeling on a small labeled data and huge quantity of unlabeled data to train the machine learning model. Means it is a hybrid modeling where we use a labeled and unlabeled data both. Understood? So this practice of semi-supervised techniques is enhancing newly because the extensive quantities of labeled, unlabeled and unstructured data are produced every day in the internet. So there is a tons of unlabeled data, which is the raw data, unstructured data, which is being generated a lot in the internet. So this kind of machine learning models will be very popular in the coming days. So those were the different types of machine learning. Now, why do we need machine learning? What is the need for machine learning? So since the technical revolution, we are generating like immeasurable amount of data. So as per the research, we generate around 2.5 quintillion bytes of data every single day. Understood? So we are expected to create like to have like 1.7 MB of data every second for every person on the earth. So with this availability of data, so it is possible to build a predictive models which can study, analyze complex data to find useful insights and deliver more accurate results. And many companies like Netflix, Amazon, they are already using several machine learning models which are fed with tons of data, and they are identifying the profitable opportunities and to avoid the unwanted risks. So these are the four main reasons why we require machine learning, because there is an increase in the data generation. So there are there is a lot of scope to uncover the patterns and the trends in this huge amount of data. So we can improve the decision making process, and we can use this machine learning models also to solve the real time complex problems. So that was about our section 2, an overview of machine learning. So by this time, I hope you have got an idea of what exactly the artificial intelligence and machine learning is all about. So now in section 3, I'll be discussing how exactly the artificial intelligence and machine learning are transforming the world. Almost everything coming out of the technology has an element of artificial intelligence and machine learning in it. Artificial intelligence and machine learning is changing the world by transforming all the segments like healthcare services, education, transport, food and entertainment. Artificial intelligence and machine learning is changing the world by transforming the sectors like healthcare, transportation, education, food, entertainment, and different assembly lines and many more domains. It will impact the lives in almost every aspect, including the housing, cars, shopping, food ordering, etc. Technologies like Internet of Things and cloud computing, they all are growing. The implementation of artificial intelligence and machine learning to enhance the objects or the gadgets to make it more smarter for themselves. Artificial intelligence and machine learning offers potential value to the companies trying to leverage the big data for the customer satisfaction. So now let's see some real-time applications of artificial intelligence and machine learning. Artificial intelligence is playing a major role in industry, businesses, society, and in our everyday lives. From deep learning to natural language processing, we use artificial intelligence in one way or another on a daily basis, sometimes without realizing we are doing it. Robots can now take on the many of the most repetitive jobs performed by humans with more accuracy and much faster. But robots are not the only ones with embedded AI. AI will let humans switch to more skillful and better jobs. It only requires some training in new skills. But isn't life a constant learning process after all? Humans will be able to work less hours, having more free time to enjoy life, family, hobbies, and friends. Some consumer examples of AI today are Amazon's Alexa and Samsung's Bixby responding to the voice command. Even companies like Netflix recommending the programs based on the user's viewing history and preferences. Some business examples of AI today includes virtual assistants for responsive customer service, machine learning algorithms for better analysis of business performance, smart robotics for more efficient supply chains. Today, these simple and early examples of AI belong to what we call narrow artificial intelligence. So these are the systems designed by humans to carry out specific tasks. In the future, the data growth great computational power, 5G networks, increasingly mature cloud platforms, and more sophisticated software will move AI to the next level, which is general AI, but not so fast. Before we get there, there are challenges to overcome. Concerns over the data, system bias, and security top the list. Let's have a look at some facts. AI market is projected to reach $70 billion by 2020. AI is going to have a transformative effect on consumers, enterprises, and governments in the near future. AI is going to impact our lives in an unimaginable way. Nearly 8 in 10 leading CIOs, CTOs, and heads of the IT agree that AI will have a transformative impact on their organization over the next 3 to 5 years. For 54% of the business leaders, the primary aim of deploying AI is to free staff for higher value work. 65% of businesses leaders today are considering or piloting the AI projects. It will take 3 to 5 years for those AI projects to become a reality. It means there is enough time to learn new skills and be ready for 2024. The global AI market is forecast to reach a valuation of over $3 trillion by 2024. But before that happens, there is plenty we have to learn before we can co-live and co-work with artificial intelligence. Well, that was about the applications of artificial intelligence and machine learning. And we have seen how it can impact our day-to-day lives and the society. So now, those who opposes the idea of artificial intelligence or the impact of artificial intelligence and machine learning, they have usually two fears. Firstly, they think that the AI is going to replace the humans in the workplace. Well, it is undeniable that AI machines are performing the task traditionally which was carried out by the humans. There is still a need for human in order to make the machines work. So the beginning and the end operations need to be carried out by the human beings. There is a requirement of the programmer, and an analysis of the data is also carried out by a person. So people are still required to carry out the physical implementation of certain actions. What the implementation of artificial intelligence in the workplace does mean is we need to adapt. The growing use of machine learning and artificial intelligence means that the type of work we are carrying out is changing. We have a set of new skills and new era of learning that needs to be embraced from the college or the university and at an entry level. And there is this second fear that AI is spying on us. We are losing our privacy. See, this might be true in some sense, because when you Google for, maybe like when I Google for some 1980s movie, and when I turn on my smart TV, it shows me the recommendation of the movies or the related movies which I searched for in the Google. So this is only for improving the user experience. So it makes it easier for us in what we require. And even the tailored advertising is designed to put the things which we might be interested. So all these things somehow feels like that we are being watched, and it is only for improving our experiences and to make our lives better. So how is artificial intelligence and machine learning is benefiting our world? See, the biggest benefit of these two technologies is that there is a less chance for an human error. In domains like medical services, there is no scope for human inaccuracy, inefficiency, or other related errors. So these things can greatly reduce with the use of artificial intelligence and machine learning, in the practical applications. Having artificial intelligence involved in wide variety of areas in our lives can simplify and streamline so many tasks. For example, the virtual assistant can take on the more complex or the repetitive tasks which we do not want to do ourselves. Artificial intelligence and machine learning can increase the production lines with more labor intensive input, giving a higher output. Then gathering a wide set of data to inform our decisions in business and being able to interpret them. We can then utilize this data to improve the profits, the customer service, the security and overall performance. The impact of artificial intelligence and machine learning is said to be huge. It is up to us as the developers and the pioneers to mold it to benefit the society in a positive way. So we at ISPAT University, a chartered university in Uganda, are offering a Bachelor's of Science in Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning program. So for more information about the program, please visit our campus or visit our website www.ispatuniversity.ac.ug. So thank you all for watching this video. Please like and subscribe our channel.